Hi, I'm Brent Campbell. Adopting a healthier diet is easier than you think once you understand how. Like I explained in my first video in this series, in 2015 I saw the writing on the wall with my own family. Embracing the wake-up call, I got my act together and I completely changed the way I approach food. I've since shaved off 50 pounds, give or take, and likely added years to my life. I'm here to show you how to do the same, but in a way that works for you. And that starts with the developing an understanding of how food affects your body. And it's not just me and my family, it's everyone's. Everywhere we look these days, people look unhealthy. It's astonishing how, in just the last 20 years, Americans have consistently gotten fatter and sicker year after year. To put any doubt to rest, let's look at a few numbers. From 1999 to 2018, according to CDC data, obesity in the US increased 40% from 30% to 42%. Over that time, the prevalence of severe obesity doubled from 4.7% to 9.2%. This makes no small contribution to the new reality that 6 of every 10 adults in the US now suffer a chronic disease, including diabetes, heart disease, cancer, or any number of other diseases that plague millions of Americans. Further, data shows that as of 2016, nearly 18%, 1 in 5 of American youth are obese. Such high rates of obesity will surely mean high rates of disease and premature death in the US for many years to come. It's tragic. Why, though, are so many among us sick? If we could point to just one underlying cause of disease, it's usually chronic inflammation. If you don't know, chronic inflammation has been linked to heart disease, diabetes, cancer, arthritis, and bowel diseases, which are all mostly caused by poor diet. Poor sleep, lack of exercise, toxin exposure, and environmental factors also play a big hand in causing chronic inflammation within our bodies too. Although the US is among the most prosperous countries on earth, recent trends show that Americans die sooner and experience higher rates of disease than many other developed nations. So then, why did Americans get so much fatter and sicker so suddenly? Mostly, it's sad. The modern standard American diet. We use the phrase standard American diet to describe the typical processed, fast food intensive American diet. But what does the standard American diet actually look like? According to an exhaustive study conducted by the USDA, a whopping 63% of America's calories come from the convenience and low consumer cost of inflammation-causing refined and processed foods like soft drinks, packaged snacks like potato chips, packaged desserts, frozen meals, and so on. Meanwhile, just 6% of America's calories are coming from far healthier, inflammation-reducing, but less convenient to store and prepare vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. There's blame to go around, of course, as food companies market the worst foods for our bodies to us continuously through advertising and other forms of sales promotion. Why they choose to convince us to buy and eat food that'll make us fat and sick and die young is another topic for another day, yet fundamentally they are businesses whose first objective is to maximize profits. It's way easier to drive profits with cheap, tasty, usually achieved with lots of sugar and salt, not to mention unhealthy fats, and shelf-stable corn or Frankenwheat derived products than nutritious foods that spoil quickly, take time to prepare, and must be served fresh, all adding substantially to their cost. It makes perfect sense for companies to sell us junk food, and yet it's truly terrible what that leads to for us. Heartbreaking when you stop to think about the lives lost or shortened because of the standard American diet. The good news, if there is any, is that we can fix this. We must educate ourselves and each other on the right foods to eat and which foods to avoid, and then make sure that we get and stay disciplined. Each of us gets to make that choice, and we have to make it every day. I'm about 5 years in, and I can tell you that it does take discipline, planning, and a little bit more effort, but it's very doable. Meanwhile, it's clear to see that I'm adding years to my life as well as quality of life to those years for the effort, which is a small price to pay. I will tell and show you what you need to know, bit by bit, to make it easier for you to learn and build your knowledge over time. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe so that you can stay tuned. See you next time.